I don't remember what this was, but some kind of safety tag that I ripped off something, as we do. You just rip the safety tag off and ignore it. But welcome back to the workbench, where we try to make things, and we're continuing to try to make today is Revell's 1956 Ford Thunderbird. We're building this kit to be as stock as possible. And when I say that, I don't mean box stock, I mean stock straight off of the factory floor line. And what we're working on is the interior. Even more specifically than that, we're working on some floor mats. So I've been promising you guys floor mats for the interior, so I thought let's give it a try. But first, let's take a look at the actual interior tub. So like I mentioned before, I've done some research, or at least the research department known as Google has done some research for me, and everything's carpeted. The whole floor, including the tunnel, is carpeted. And from what I can figure out, these vehicles did come, I think pretty much all of them did come with floor mats, I think. I don't know. Either way, I thought it'd be fun to try to make some floor mats. So we're doing it whether they did it or didn't, but I'm pretty sure they did come with floor mats. Anyways, and when we were talking about this before, in fact, if you want to get caught up on this series, by the way, guys, there's a playlist down in the description, a link down there for the playlist. Also, there's a link to this kit that you can use if you like to get one of your own. Use that kit, and of course, it helps out the channel. But what we had talked about before is this is all carpeted, but I want to flock it, but I didn't want to flock the entire carpet because what will happen is it'll build up too thick. So what I did do is flock the tunnel, and you can see it's already getting thicker, and it looks pretty good. Now I did have some glue escape under my tape. Basically, I taped all of that off because I didn't want to get glue or anything on the rest of the interior that's already painted. And I had some kind of squeeze under, because basically this is thinned out white glue that I used to adhere the flocking. So it easily flows underneath tape. It's okay. I'll just let that completely dry, and then I should be able to go in with an X-Acto and just kind of cut down the edge of the tunnel there, and then peel off that glue. It should peel off, but I want to cut it with an X-Acto or a sharp blade, because obviously I don't want to peel all of the flocking off too. And I should be able to clean that up, is the point. Plus this will dry. I just did this, so it hasn't completely dried. It should dry completely clear. I just don't want the kind of bumpy look of that. So we'll clean that up. Anyways, that's got the tunnel flocked. Oh, something else I want to mention. There is, and you can't see it right here where I'm putting this screwdriver, is where the shifter will go. Now I went ahead and flocked over it, and then what I'll do is I'll kind of put just kind of scrape some of that flocking away so that I can then glue the shifter in. I didn't want to tape that off because I want the carpet to come right up to, this is my theory at least, this is my thinking. I want that carpet to kind of work its way right up to the shifter boot. So I want to make sure and just kind of, scrape some of that away. When I put the shifter in, I'll kind of work it in there so it's worked into the flocking, if that makes sense. I want the carpet to come right up, the simulated carpet to come right up to the shifter boot. Now we need our floor mats. Oh, and yeah, did I mention that I did not flock where the floor mats go because I didn't want to build up too many layers of thickness. We would have flocking, then we're building these floor mats out of styrene, so we'd have the styrene thickness, then another layer of flocking, and it just starts to build up too thick. So I left it just painted. And so what I did to build out, to build out the floor mats, is I just used some little pieces of cardboard. I don't remember what this was, but some kind of safety tag that I ripped off something, as we do. You just rip the safety tag off and ignore it. But what I did is I went ahead and used these to kind of work out templates for either side. Let me see. I'll drop this in. Hopefully I don't glue it in. But basically, I just kind of would work it. I was just trying to work the correct shape out of cardboard. Here, I'll just go ahead and put them both in. Work the right shape out of cardboard like so. And, that way I could get that. I didn't want to do it straight to styrene. I'd rather do a template. And I think, those came out pretty good. Let me knock them out of there before I end up gluing them in. But we have a passenger side and a driver's side, which look a little different. And I used what I found, again, the research department got to me with, I guess what is reproductions of the original floor mats. So I tried to kind of go off those shapes as best I could. Now, again, this is a Revell model. I don't know how exact all this is. So I just tried to make sure, one, they kind of resembled what I think is the factory correct floor mats, and also fit in the space we have here in this, vacuum form tub that Revell did for us. So we need the two to kind of get as close as we can. So anyways, that's what I did when trying to build out these little templates. And then of course I put you got to have the bend. They bend up the footwell there. So I made sure and got that where it needs to be. And then from that, I cut it out of, and I don't know if I have any, do I have any laying around? I think I left it downstairs. It's very thin styrene. The thinnest styrene I have, which it's basically paper thin. I literally don't have any sitting here. I thought I did. I could show you, but it's just paper thin styrene, and I cut them out. Use the template and then cut them out, and then using that thin down white glue, I just smeared a layer of glue on the little pieces of styrene and then flocked it. Oh, by the way, I want to mention, I used one of these mini flockers. They work pretty well. Basically it slides in and out, and you just kind of puff it, if you hold it upside down and puff the flocking onto your surface, onto your glued surface. And that works. It worked pretty well. I think that's going to look pretty good. In fact, I'll just go ahead and set them in there very carefully. These will end up being glued in. I don't want to glue them in yet because I need to clean up the glue. Okay, there we go. And so you can see, these are not completely dry, so I don't want to touch them too much. But they're going to sit in here. I'll have to give a little bit more bend to both of them actually, so they'll sit in there a little flatter. And then I think it's going to look okay. They're not sitting in there flat, but I don't want to mess with them too much because they are not dry. But I think that's going to look pretty good once they got the right, once I bend them in, and basically I can glue them in, and that'll hold them in that shape we need that goes up the footwell there. I need to paint the accelerator pedal, and then where's the dash? We'll go ahead and put the dash in and kind of see what we've got going on here. Get an overall look. There we go. That's how that's going to be. So when we're looking in at it, we'll see those floor mats that'll be in there. And I think that's going to look pretty good. And I might have to paint the floorboard more of a gloss black, or more of a semi-gloss black, really. I went with a satin clear over all this for the seats, but I think if we put a semi-gloss black in there, that'll look even better. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I've got the steering wheel I've still got to put in. Also, I've got to clip the steering column down. It's way too long. It sticks way out. It looks really funny. But I think that's going to look pretty good. Then I can go ahead and, once this is all dry and I get all that glued in, I'm going to go ahead and paint up the details. There's a little bit that needs to go on the firewall here yet. Also, I'll go ahead and do that in between episodes. But I think, let me go ahead and see if I can pull them back out without making a mess of them. I just dumped a bunch of loose stuff into my hand, but that's fine. I don't know what to do it now. Flocking on my hand. Let me over there. That's where that goes. Yeah, I think they're going to look pretty good. Oh, one thing I was going to mention real quick. The originals, as you noticed from the picture I threw up, actually had a Thunderbird logo up at the top. I might try to do that in between episodes. So what I think I'll probably do is take this same super paper thin white styrene and just cut it out, and then just, once this is all dry, glue it in right there. Just a little indication that those are up there, because they're going to be up under the dash anyways. I don't know how well we'll see them, but they'll be there in case we can get a little look at it. I think that's probably something I'll do. I think that'll be kind of give it that little extra touch, that little extra. But yeah, anyways, I need to get in here and paint up some details yet in the interior and clean out all the loose flocking that is in here. But we'll do that in between episodes. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. This is how I did my little floor mats. Let me know how you do yours, if you do something different or what you think. Let me know down in the comments section. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Hit the like button. Hey, hit that hype button. It's actually a thing now. There's a hype button down there you can hit. I don't know. I don't know what it does, but apparently it helps. If you would push that. Subscribe if you want to keep up with these builds. We've got a new build coming to the channel. So be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with that one also. But anyways, do all those things you normally do on YouTube. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.